You know that moment when you open your inbox and realize every important decision, every draft, every client question somehow boomeranged back to you? It's like your business has you on speed dial for everything. Now picture two founders. Founder A is reviewing every email, rewriting every proposal, leaving voice notes at midnight trying to explain what they actually want. Their team is loyal, but confused. Stuff gets done, but only if they personally touch it. Founder B, same workload, same kind of business, but their calendar actually has white space. Instead of typing giant instructions from scratch, they fire off a messy brain dump, run it through an AI delegation studio, and boom, clear task brief, checklist, examples, guardrails, written in language humans love. Their team can finally say, "Got it, I know what good looks like," and run. Today, we're building that second reality for you. Welcome back to Navigating AI with Apex Blue, where we help you work smarter and, yes, sell more without burning out.
And to be clear, this isn't about turning your business into a giant instruction manual. Pattern detected. Most owners do not want another documentation project. What we're talking about is much lighter. Turning what's in your head into small, clear task packets your team can actually use.
Exactly. Mini briefs, not encyclopedias. Little packets of clarity. We're calling it your AI Delegation Studio, your backstage setup for spinning messy ideas into repeatable, just do it like this tasks. Creativity unlocked. Here's how we'll flow today. Nova is going to break down why delegation usually fails and what information your team is secretly missing. Then I'll show you how to turn your brain spaghetti into clear, human-friendly task briefs with AI. After that, Stryker will go full systems nerd, small budget setups using the tools you already have. And Pulse will close us out with the operational rhythm so this doesn't fall apart in 3 weeks. Let's start with the painful truth. Nova, what actually breaks when delegation goes wrong? Because it's not just, my team doesn't care, right?
It's almost never that your team doesn't care. It's that they're guessing. Delegation usually fails for 3 simple reasons: missing context, unclear outcomes, and scattered information. Missing context sounds like, "Can you handle this?" with no explanation of why it matters, who it affects, or what came before. Unclear outcomes is, "Make this better," without defining what better actually means. And scattered information is when pieces of the puzzle live in email threads, old proposals, your head, and that one Zoom call no one remembers.
Somebody just flinched in their car hearing that, because that is literally how most creative briefs are born. 3 sentences in Slack and a prayer.
Exactly. And when people don't know the why, the what, and the where, they either freeze or they move forward and hope they guessed correctly. That's when you get rework, frustration, and that sinking feeling of, "It's faster if I just do it myself."
Okay, so if we were to pop the hood on good delegation, what's actually inside a clear task? Like, what does your ideal task packet look like?
Think of a simple structure. 1. Context, what this is and why it matters. 2. Outcome, what done looks like in concrete terms. 3. Ingredients, where to find the files, examples, logins, or people involved. 4. Constraints, deadlines, brand rules, legal or compliance guardrails. That's it. Not a novel, just those 4 elements. And here's the encouraging part. Almost all of this information already exists somewhere. It's just fragmented. Some of it is trapped in your inbox, some in proposals, some in Loom recordings, some in your habits. AI's job in your delegation studio is to pull that together into one coherent brief.
So, you're not creating context from scratch. You're harvesting it and reshaping it.
Exactly. Clarity achieved by rearranging what you already have. Before you even bring in tools, a quick exercise you can do in your head right now. Think of one task you keep getting pulled into. Maybe client reports, social posts, or onboarding. Ask yourself, where does the context for that live? Email chains, old docs, recordings? Once you know where the pieces are, AI can help you assemble them into a repeatable pattern.
I love that because it turns delegation from this huge, scary project into, oh, it's a scavenger hunt. The clues are already lying around. That's viral energy for your sanity. All right, let's talk about the fun part, turning brain mush into beautiful task briefs humans love. Because if your team secretly hates reading your directions, they're not going to follow them. Here's how most founders delegate. They send a forward that says, "See below. Can you handle?" Or they drop a voice note that's 10 minutes of, okay, basically. And then they're shocked when the output misses the mark. This needs sparkle. Not more words, better structure. So, let's build a simple AI-assisted brief. Imagine you just had a messy client call about revamping a landing page. Instead of trying to write the perfect brief from scratch, you paste your rough notes or transcript into your AI tool and say something like, "Turn this into a clear task brief for my marketing assistant. Include 1. One-paragraph context in plain language. 2. The specific outcome we want. 3. 3 to 5 bullet success criteria. 4. Any examples or references mentioned on the call. And 5. A short checklist they can follow. Write it in a friendly, concise tone, like a smart colleague explaining what needs to be done." Suddenly, your rambling becomes, "Here's why we're changing the page. Here's the exact goal. Here's what good looks like. Here are references. Here's your checklist." Humans love this stuff. It makes them feel trusted instead of set up to fail.
And to address a concern some of you just had, no, that doesn't mean the AI magically understands your brand perfectly. You are still the editor. Especially for the first few tasks, review the draft brief for 60 seconds. Adjust the tone, add 1 or 2 non-negotiables, and then send.
Yes, think of AI as your junior copywriter for instructions. It drafts, you nudge. You are not handing your team to a robot and walking away. Another trick I love, examples and anti-examples. When you're prompting your AI, say, "Use this past email as a good example of tone," or "Avoid sounding like this stiff proposal." Then ask it to spell out for your team, "Do more of this, less of that." That's delegation gold. And don't underestimate simple guardrails. You can tell AI, add a section called Guardrails with 3 bullets. What not to change, any compliance issues and who to ask if they're unsure. It gives your team permission to ask questions instead of guessing. Okay, Stryker, I can hear people thinking, this sounds great, but I barely have time to breathe, let alone build a studio. Can you make this painfully practical for the founder driving between appointments right now?
Absolutely. Let's keep this scrappy. You don't need a new platform to start. You probably already have 3 ingredients: an email inbox, some call recordings or meeting notes, and a project tool or at least a shared doc. Step 1. Choose a single inbox or folder that becomes your delegation input. Anytime something comes to you that you shouldn't be doing long-term, client updates, simple reports, recurring emails, forward it into that folder with a quick note at the top. We should turn this into a task. Step 2. Once or twice a day, spend 10 minutes inside that folder with your AI tool of choice. That could be a chat-based assistant, a browser extension, or something built into your project management tool. Your prompt is simple. Summarize this and turn it into a task brief my team can execute without me. Use this structure, and then you paste the structure Lyric just laid out.
I like that you said 10 minutes, not 3 hours of system building. That's founder-friendly.
Exactly. And for calls, use whatever you've got. Zoom transcripts, a cheap call recorder, or even your own voice notes. Run the transcript through AI and say, extract the key decisions, action items, and owner for each. Then draft individual task briefs with context, outcome, and checklist. Now every vague "we should do this" from a meeting turns into an actual assignable task. Step 3. Put the output somewhere your team already lives. If you use a project management tool, paste the brief into a task card. If you don't, a simple shared Google Doc with headings like Task Briefs, Week of March 5 works. Label each task with an owner and a due date. Low budget, high clarity.
Notice what Stryker is not saying. You do not need a massive AI integration on day 1. You just need an input lane, an AI drafting moment, and an output lane where tasks live. Efficiency is inevitable when you reduce friction that much.
One more practical tweak. Create one reusable prompt you keep in a note on your phone or in a template in your AI tool. Something like, turn this email or transcript into a clear, delegable task brief with context, outcome, success criteria, ingredients, guardrails, and a checklist. Write it in simple, friendly language. Copy, paste, done. You're not reinventing the wheel every time.
That's your little delegation spell. Say the magic words, and messy inputs become clarity on the other side. All right, we've got the story, the system, and the setup. Pulse, bring us home. How do we make this AI delegation studio part of the way the business actually runs, and not just a cool thing we try for a week and forget?
The key is rhythm. Tools are nice, but habits keep you out of bottleneck jail. Let's make this very real for a small business owner who's already stretched. First, decide who owns what in this studio. You, as the founder, own identifying what should be delegated and giving the first bit of raw context. Your AI assistant owns turning that into a draft brief. And one trusted team member, maybe an operations lead or senior assistant, owns lightly checking those briefs and making sure they land in the right place with the right owner. Second, build a simple review cadence. For example, once a week, you and that team member spend 20 minutes looking at the tasks that came out of the studio. Ask 3 questions. Did this land clearly? Was there rework? Where did people still have to come back to you for clarification? When you see confusion, don't blame the person. Fix the pattern. Maybe your context is too thin. Maybe success criteria need more concrete examples. You adjust the prompt or the template once, and every future task gets clearer.
That's an important mindset shift. You're not judging people. You're iterating on the system. Pattern detected, then pattern improved.
Third, track 2 very simple metrics. 1. Rework rate. Out of, say, 10 tasks coming through your AI Delegation Studio, how many needed a major redo? If that number drops over time, you're winning. 2. Owner hours reclaimed. Each week, estimate how many hours you did not spend on things because they went through the studio instead. It might start at 1 or 2 hours. Over a few months, that can easily become a full day.
And to Pulse's point, you don't need a fancy dashboard. A sticky note or a line in your planner that says, "Hours I didn't have to do it myself this week," is enough to keep you motivated.
Last piece. Give your team permission to request better briefs. Tell them, if a task shows up and you still don't know what good looks like, flag it. We will update the template. That's how your AI Delegation Studio matures, from one-way instructions to a real collaboration.
That's so good. It turns delegation from "do this because I said so" into "here's what we're trying to achieve. Help me make the instructions better." That's culture building. All right, let's land this with 3 moves you can take this week to stand up your AI Delegation Studio without blowing up your schedule. Action 1. Pick just one recurring task you're always dragged into. Sales follow-ups, weekly reports, social captions, whatever comes to mind first. Grab the last example of it from your email or files, drop it into your AI tool, and say, "Turn this into a task brief my team can run without me, using the structure we shared." Edit for 60 seconds, then assign it.
Action 2. Define your lanes. Decide where delegation inputs go, maybe a specific email label or a Slack channel, and where finished task briefs live, your project tool or a shared doc. Then tell your team, "From now on, tasks that come from me will show up here, in this format." Clarity on lanes reduces noise instantly.
Action 3. Schedule a 20-minute weekly delegation check-in for the next 4 weeks. Same time, same day. Look at what went through the studio, tweak the prompts and templates, and note how many hours you kept off your own plate. Protect that time. It's where the compounding benefits come from.
And if you want a shortcut, you don't have to invent those prompts or checklists alone. We put together ready-made task brief prompts and a simple delegation checklist for you.
Yes. If your brain is buzzing and you're thinking, "Please just give me the words to copy-paste," we've got you. Head over to Apex Blue's site, look for the AI Delegation Studio resources. You'll find plug-and-play prompts for turning emails and call notes into task briefs, plus a 1-page checklist to keep your new studio humming. Turn down the noise in your inbox, turn up the clarity for your team, and give yourself back a few hours this week. From all of us at Apex Blue, Nova, Stryker, Pulse, and me, stay smart, stay curious, and stay ahead.